This story that I'm about to share with you is about a cute little country mouse. Are you ready to hear about his trip to the city? Let's begin. One fine summer morning, a city mouse went to visit his cousin who lived in the country. The country mouse was very delighted to have his cousin as his guest, so he picked out the best corn, nuts, cheese, bread, and wild berries for dinner. Looking at the plain food, the city mouse shook his head in disbelief and said, "Cousin, I cannot understand how you can live with such plain food. You must come and live with me in the city. I will show you the true meaning of good and tasty food." With a puzzled look on his face, the country mouse asked, "But this is the best food I've ever tasted. Are you telling me that in the city you live in, there is better food than this?" "Of course, my poor cousin," answered the city mouse. "I will show you a feast fit for a king." The country mouse was amazed by what he heard. Early next morning, he packed some clothes and went to the city to live with his cousin. He had never been to the city. He was so fascinated by the people, the tall buildings, the busy streets, and the laughter of the children. He told himself, "The city is truly a fine place for me to live in." Crossing 2 streets from the train station, the 2 mice came to a big house. The city mouse led his cousin into a grand dining room. The country mouse couldn't believe his eyes. Never in his life had he seen so much food. On the grand dining table, there were chicken pies, ham, chocolate cakes, butter cakes, strawberry cakes, and all sorts of delicious pastries. The 2 mice settled down to have their wonderful dinner, which was accompanied by much joy and laughter. The country mouse had never tasted anything so delicious in his life. He thought about how wonderful it would be to stay with his cousin in the city. "Oh, I have wasted my time in the country. I like the city. This is great," the country mouse told the cousin. Suddenly, the kitchen door next to the dining room swung open with a bang, and in came the owner of the house. The city mouse dropped his food and screamed at the top of his voice to the country mouse, "Run!" The country mouse, who was burying himself in the chocolate cake, looked up, dropped his food, and followed the city mouse as closely as he could. "Quick!" shouted the country mouse. "Into this hole!" The country mouse ran as fast as he could and squeezed into the tiny hole. He panted hard, trying to catch his breath. With his mind full of doubts, the country mouse asked his cousin, "What was all that about? Why were we running away? I'm not done yet. My stomach still had room for more." "Dear cousin," answered the city mouse, "you have to bear this in mind. In the city, there is danger everywhere. If you're not careful, you may lose your life." Just then, the mice heard footsteps drawing near, and an angry voice saying, "There are mice in this house. Look at how they've messed up the place eating our dinner. I need to set up a mouse trap to catch them immediately." "Now you understand what I mean," said the city mouse. "But don't worry. All we have to do is to be alert, and we'll be able to avoid all these dangers." "Is this true?" the country mouse asked himself. "Will I ever be happy here, living my life in fear that I may lose it one day over delicious food?" That night, the country mouse couldn't sleep at all. He laid awake the whole night through, asking himself plenty of questions. Finally, he arrived at one simple answer to all his questions. The following morning, the country mouse said to his cousin, "Although you have plenty to eat, cousin, I'm still going home. My food may be plain and simple, but at least I can enjoy my dinner in peace." "Don't you want to give yourself another chance? Why not stay for another day?" asked the city mouse. No, my dear cousin, I am going home, replied the country mouse with a smile on his face. He bade his cousin farewell and went on his way to the train station to catch the train that would bring him home. The country mouse lived happily for the rest of his life in his little, simple house. What do you think of the country mouse's choice? My friends, having simple things doesn't mean we can't be happy. So let's be happy with whatever we have and treasure them.